Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. That is, of course, me, Kyle Brenchley, in the house on this Wednesday. Club's going up on a Wednesday. Beautiful, beautiful day out there. It is October 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to October. Holy cow. Where is 2025 gone? It's in the past. And the present, you are here now. Welcome to Fan Talk. If this is your first time here, welcome. Hello. This is a podcast for all fans. All fans alike are welcome here. I upload on YouTube if you like the video version, but I'm also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast, I am there. We are just talking sports, and we're talking a lot of football this time of year. You can't go wrong with football in the fall, but we're also talking postseason baseball. That's right, it started yesterday. Games are going on today. We'll talk a little bit about that, so sit back and relax, and welcome to Fan Talk. You got the sign, no candle burning, it's out. My candle is out. I need to go get new fall candles. Catch me at Bath & Body Works this week. The Rogue One posters are up, and it is a beautiful, beautiful day. As I mentioned, marathon weekend. All right, I am running a half marathon. I should clarify, a half marathon. Not a full, a half marathon. Down in St. George this Saturday, so in a couple days here. It's my third year running the race. I'm super excited. It's always a fun time going down there. I love St. George. I love this course, and I love this race. So it should be fun. I am doing a vlog like I did last year. Yeah, for the true OGs out there, last year they saw that I videotaped a lot of, not even just the race, but a lot of the leading up to it. There's like a big expo that you can go to, and there's a lot of vendors, and there's a lot of speakers, and you get your bib, and yada, yada, yada. It's kind of this fun little thing. But I'll be filming throughout my entire time there, so stay tuned for that to drop sometime next week. But as for today, let's focus on baseball for just a moment. Hang tight, all my football fans. We'll get there in just a moment. Postseason baseball started. And if you don't know who's in the postseason, then gosh darn. Like, what are you doing? Postseason baseball is one of the most electric things you can watch. But Kyle, baseball on TV is so boring. I'd rather just go to the game. Well, then go to the game, gosh darn it. But honestly, on TV, postseason baseball, yeah, the regular season, it can get boring. Those games in July where nobody cares, and there's 30 people in the stands, it can get boring. But postseason baseball is so electric. Just watch 5 minutes and you'll be hooked. Let me tell you the teams that are in the postseason if you don't know. Over in the American League, you have the Detroit Tigers against the Cleveland Guardians. It's in the wild card. The wild card is kind of like the first round per se, and they play a best of 3 series, which means that you win 2 out of the 3 games to move on to the next round. Pretty simple, right? So the Tigers and the Guardians, they're currently in the wild card. They played yesterday. Detroit actually won game 1, but they're playing right now game 2. The Mariners, Seattle Mariners, got into the postseason for the first time since 2022, so congrats to the Mariners. They're the only team who has never made it to the World Series. Could this be their year? I don't know. The Red Sox got in. They're playing in the wild card against the Yankees. A big rivalry, the most historic rivalry in probably all of sports, let's be honest. And then the Toronto Blue Jays got the number 1 seed to round out the American League. So 6 teams make it in the American League. 6 teams make it in the National League. It's just like 2 conferences, kind of like football and basketball, as I've mentioned before. So over in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds snuck into the playoffs. Holy cow, that was a surprise to me. They're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Philadelphia Phillies got in. The Padres got in from San Diego. The Chicago Cubs got in. And then the Milwaukee Brewers. So I'm sure you all have your own predictions on who's going to win the World Series this year. I think the door's a little more open to some teams this year. I think maybe there's about 3 or 4 teams that I feel confident that can actually win it. But it should be interesting to see how it plays out. Drop your World Series predictions down below and go watch some Major League Baseball. There's 4 games on today, Wednesday, and the games just keep going and going until there's a World Series champion crowned. So there's your little baseball update. I know not a ton of you are into baseball, but for those of you who are, there's the love. I wish I could talk more baseball, but honestly, the nature of this podcast where I only do it once a week, and now we're in fall where college football and NFL just dominates, it's really hard to sneak in that postseason or that baseball. But with the postseason here, for sure, we'll be getting some awesome postseason coverage. All right, let's shift our focus to a college football now. And as we know, college football is always super duper fun. Let's take a look here at the rankings before we jump into what games you should be watching in college football this weekend. Rankings, any new updates? Or Ohio State's still number one. Oregon has jumped all the way up to number 2. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Miami's still in the top 5. Mississippi is all the way up to number 4. Oklahoma's all the way up to number 5. Boomer Sooner. I think they're giving us a little too much credit, especially since our quarterback is injured. Texas A&M number 6, Penn State 7, Indiana all the way up to 8, Texas 9, and Alabama back in the top 10. Shout out to my local fans. BYU is up to number 23 in the rankings after a win over Colorado and Coach Prime there in Boulder over the weekend. Utah still on the outskirts, probably needs to win a couple more games before they get back into the top 25. All right, so what games should you be watching in college football this weekend? Last week I gave you way too many games to be watching, and that's because there were just so many games. I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, you got to be watching all these games, And obviously you guys won't be watching every single game like I do. You're not a sports fanatic to the degree that I am, which is great. I'm glad that you guys are your own person, and if you are a huge sports fanatic, then you're in the right place. Let's keep going. But here, I'll give you a couple games. I'll give you maybe 3 or 4 games that you could be watching, that you should be watching this week in college football. So first, let me mention, I do this as well. I shout out the local teams. Utah State and University of Utah are both on bye weeks. BYU is at home on Friday night. They're playing West Virginia in Provo. West Virginia just got whacked by Utah. I think West Virginia is pretty beat up on both sides of the ball. They don't look that great, so this is a great opportunity for BYU to beat them up again on Friday night in front of everyone. So that's on Friday night, but on Saturday, in the early slate, there's a lot of decent games. A lot of these games have a ranked opponent, so one of the teams is good and the other team is okay. So, there could be an upset, but I don't really think so. I think a lot of these games will go chalk, which means the team that's favored to win will win. But in the early slate at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I would check out Iowa State and Cincinnati. Iowa State's ranked 14th. They're undefeated, 5-0. They are going on the road against Cincinnati. This is a Big 12 game, of course. Cincinnati 1-3. Kind of haven't really been getting much recognition. I think they're a decent team, not necessarily a good or a great team, but at home against an Iowa State team, they could shake things up. They could win. They could pull off an upset. So that's a game you should be watching, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, as I mentioned. Again, there's a bunch of other games that could be fun, but I'm not really feeling them until 1:30 Mountain Standard Time. And this is where College Game Day is going. College Game Day is going to Tuscaloosa, Vanderbilt versus Alabama. Now, in the past, you'd be like, well, okay, Alabama's going to win 45-3, and they still might do that. But Vanderbilt is ranked this year. They're 16th in the country, 5-0. Alabama is ranked 10th, 3-1, coming off a huge win against Georgia in Athens last weekend. So this one could be super fun. I still think Alabama wins this one, but and they're a 10.5 point favorite at home. But still, this could be a very fun game to check out. SEC football in the afternoon. Give me some of that. What's better than that? I don't know. At the same time, Boise State and Notre Dame are kicking off. I think this will be a fun one. Notre Dame 2-2, of course, with 2 really tough losses to A&M and Miami. But Boise State, kind of the cream of the crop there in the Mountain West with Maddox Matson leading the way. That could also be a fun one. That game is also at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The next fun game doesn't come until nighttime. And here's the last 2 games that I'll give you that you should be checking out. Number 3, Miami versus number 18, Florida State. Now, Florida State is just coming off being upsetted by Virginia on the road. Some controversy there with the referees ruling on what is a catch and what is not, but I'm not going to comment too much on that. Just mention that they did lose that game. This game is in Tallahassee, so Florida State will be at home. Miami's number 3 in the country. This is primetime television, ABC, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time. Go check it out. Whoever wins this game probably has a very good shot of winning the ACC and going to the college football playoff. Also at the same time, Texas A&M, 4-0, 6th in the country. I think people are sleeping on A&M. A&M, 6th in the country and nobody's talking about them? Bro, what? They're at home. They're hosting Mississippi State. Could be another fun one. Both teams have maroon and white in their color scheme. So if you're interested in that. Their jerseys will probably be quite similar. Those are just a few games that you should be watching in college football this weekend. Of course, there's a ton more that you can always be checking out. There's games literally all day, every day in college football, and it's super fun. And it should be interesting to see because I think we're at the point of the season, and I mentioned this last week, where teams are either made or they break here at this point. We're 5 weeks in. If you've already lost 2 games at this point, then you really have to dig deep to fight your way back into playoff contention. If you're undefeated, this is when you start facing tougher teams and start losing games. So it's just a really crucial stretch of the college football season. Some really fun games, some upsets are brewing, so go check it out this Saturday in college football. All right, let's shift our focus to the NFL. It is time for our NFL Pigskin Pick'em. If you don't know what that is, it's a game on fantasy football where you literally just pick the winner of each game in the NFL each week. I have a group specifically for this podcast for listeners. If you'd like to join, it's always linked down below in the description of this video. It's not too late to join. I know it's week 5, but just hop in, make picks, and have fun. All right, we start with Thursday night football this week. We stay in the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams host the San Francisco 49ers. I have a lot of confidence in this Los Angeles Rams team. I like them at home. They just beat the Colts. They looked pretty good. Puka Nacua is absolutely amazing. Matthew Stafford still has it at age 36 or 37. I can't remember how old he is. Doesn't matter. The Rams get the win in this one and take control of the NFC West. We're back overseas. The Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns. Minnesota was there last week in Dublin, Ireland, lost to the Steelers. They stay overseas, and now the Cleveland Browns come in. The big news with the Cleveland Browns is that Joe Flacco benched. In comes Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel obviously spent time at UCF, at Oklahoma, and then his last year at the University of Oregon. He will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Their defense is playing great. Their offense has been bad. That's why old man Flacco is out and Gabriel is in. As much as I love Gabriel, I think he's a little undersized. This is his first NFL start. He's in a different time zone, country. Give me the Vikings in this one. It's going to be a slugfest, low-scoring game. Like I mentioned, the Browns' defense will get after Wentz and will give problems to the offensive line. But I just think unless Gabriel has some sort of miracle game, which I don't think he will, I think the Vikings will win this low-scoring affair. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. I picked the Raiders last week. I don't know why. They let me down. So I am never going to pick the Las Vegas Raiders again. Give me the Colts by 100. Giants at Saints. All right. This may be like the toilet bowl matchup of the week, but it's actually a very intriguing matchup because the New York Giants now have Jackson Dart as their quarterback. Russell Wilson bench, Jackson Dart in. But their star receiver Malik Neighbors is out for the year with a torn ACL injury. So there goes their weapon. So who's going to help out Jackson Dart? Who's going to help out this rookie quarterback? Are they going to get their run game going? What receiver's going to step up, if any? Their defense is playing good, but as I've mentioned a billion times, I've beat this horse dead so many times. As good as a defense can be in the NFL, if you have no offense to back up that defense, you're not going to win games. You're not going to go anywhere. Defense wins championships, yes, but offense wins games to get you to that championship. So I don't know what the future holds for the Giants, but Jackson Dart looked promising. They got that win over the Chargers. Could be an interesting game here against the New Orleans Saints, who's a team that I've mentioned before is feisty, is a team that's going to win games. It's going to surprise people. I think this is the week that they win. They're at home. They're 0-4. They've had a few tough losses. Spencer Rattler's getting better week after week. Give me the Saints in this one to get their first win of the year in this week's Toilet Bowl. Dallas Cowboys, New York Jets. Cowboys coming off a tie at home. Cool, I guess. A tie's better than a loss. Maybe, I don't know. Jets 0-4. Tough loss against the Miami Dolphins. I like the Cowboys in this one. When will the Jets get their first win? I don't know. I really don't know. I like Aaron Glenn. He's a good guy. He's got great dance moves, but as a head coach, he's struggling. And I don't know if it's as much as him as it is his personnel or the fact that it's New York and it's cursed. I don't know. But I like the Cowboys in this one to get a win and keep rolling with Dak Prescott. Denver Broncos at Eagles. Broncos, great win on Monday Night Football against the depleted Cincinnati Bengals. They're now 2-2. The Eagles 4-0, and the Eagles are soaring high. The Eagles are finding ways to win. They're at home in this one. I like the Eagles to win this game. Give me the Eagles over the Broncos. Dolphins at Panthers. I'm going to go with the Dolphins in this one. They did lose Tyreek Hill, so where are they going to go for offense? They still have Devon Achane. If Tua can sling the ball to Jalen Waddle and maybe get Darren Waller involved, this Dolphins team can be, a decent team. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they might win 7-8 games this year if they get their crap together. The Panthers are still a bad team. They shut out that Falcons that 1 week, and that was their Super Bowl probably for the whole year, and then turned around and got boat raced by the New England Patriots. So give me the Dolphins in this one. Speedy recovery. Tyreek Hill, all the best. Texans at Ravens. Now the Ravens, these are two teams that are in shambles, honestly. Two teams that are having rough years. 1-3 are both teams. Ravens lost Lamar Jackson to an injury. I don't think he will start this week. There's still a chance that he might. If he does start this week, then the Ravens are going to win this game. If he doesn't, and it's Cooper Rush, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. So because of that, you are my witnesses. I'm picking the Houston Texans this week to upset the Baltimore Ravens. However, if news comes out that Lamar Jackson will be playing Sunday, I'm going to switch my pick to the Ravens. Now, if you don't know how this works, I make these picks on Wednesday. Obviously, I'm filming it right now live for you. I make these picks on Wednesdays, and I don't change them. The only times I would change them is if, like in this situation, or if the quarterback is like, oh, I'm good to go on Saturday, then I'm going to change my pick. But as of right now on Wednesday, I'm going with the Houston Texans to upset the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore continues to slide and probably misses the postseason if they don't get their crap together. Tennessee Titans 0-4, probably the worst team in the NFL this year, against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one. The Cardinals are getting a lot of easy teams on their schedule, honestly. They've already played the Saints, the Panthers, and now the Tennessee Titans. Oh, man. So the Cardinals aren't really that good of a team, but they can beat bad teams, and they will beat another bad team this week. Give me the Cardinals. This was probably the game of the week, honestly. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-1, coming off a tough loss against the Philadelphia Eagles against the Seattle Seahawks. This game's in Seattle. Seattle's 3-1. Seattle is super underrated. I watched a video today put out by the NFL. They do power rankings, and they put the Seattle Seahawks as the number 5th team, or a 5th or 6th team in the league right now. So this could be a very fun game. I do think Tampa Bay wins this one. If you've been watching them this season, the script is always the same. They go down, but they're able to come back and fight their way back and win it at the end. They weren't able to do it this week against Philadelphia. They had the opportunity to do so, and I think they're one bad interception away from doing that. But Tampa Bay, give me Tampa Bay over Seattle. This should be the game of the week. Check this game out. Detroit Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals. Tiger versus Lion. Who is king of the jungle? Is it the Tiger or is it the Lion? Well, this week it is definitely the Lions. The Lions are finally figuring it out after a rough week 1. They've won 3 in a row, and their offense looks good. Their defense is coming together. Bengals are in shambles right now. Without Joe Burrow, they're not going to win a ton of games. Jamar Chase only had 23 yards receiving against the Denver Broncos last week. And Jake Browning's doing the best that he can, but the offensive line is made out of cardboard. So give me the Lions in this one. Commanders at Chargers. I like the Chargers to bounce back after a horrible loss against the New York Giants. It's going to happen. You're going to lose some games that you should win. And especially for the Chargers, a team that historically has lost a lot of games that they should have won. I think it's okay that you lost to the Giants. You're going to move on. You're going to be okay. You're going to bounce back against this Commanders team who is struggling without Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. So give me the Chargers in this one. 4-1. You're still atop the AFC West. And if you just keep winning and keep the Chiefs at bay, you'll do just fine. New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills, this is Sunday Night Football. They had a very, I don't know if underwhelming is the right word, but I think they could have played a lot better against the Saints, honestly. That wasn't their best game that they've ever put out. But they still won, and they're at home, and they're against the Patriots. And Josh Allen has historically done very well against the Patriots. So give me the Buffalo Bills in this one for a Sunday night showdown in Buffalo. Monday Night Football this week, the Kansas City Chiefs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, the Jaguars are 3-1. I don't know why, but I've low-key become, I don't know if a fan's the right word, but I really like the Jaguars. I don't know if it's just their color or the fact that they're the Jaguars or that their quarterback has luscious locks just like me. I don't know what it is, but I've always kind of liked the Jaguars, and it's cool to see that they're 3-1 atop the AFC South right now. They're at home hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. I do think the Chiefs are a better team and they will beat the Jaguars in this game. The Chiefs looked pretty good this last Sunday, and their offense is kind of coming together. And you can never count out Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars there on Monday Night Football. And those are my Week 5 picks for the NFL. Again, if you would like to join this group, I'll link it down below. It's just through ESPN. You just pick a winner each week. Fantastic games that you can be watching in college football this week. And baseball postseason, don't forget about that. Also, don't forget to keep your eye out for my marathon vlog that I will be posting next week. Wish me luck. I'm going to do the best that I can, and it's going to be awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Fan Talk. Again, this is a podcast you can find anywhere you get your podcast. I also upload on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Share with a friend if you find this podcast fun and exciting. And I'll see you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.